All right, we are waiting. I got one more for you guys today. This one is actually pretty freaking cool. All right, so what's going on, guys? Donnie Rouse here, and let me just go right into it. Hi, guys. My name is Donnie Rouse, and you are listening to the podcast One Life. The keys to achievement. The keys to achievement lie in two words: commitment and consistency. The reason why that commitment and consistency are so important is because commitment is what is going to get you to take that action. But consistency is what it's going to allow you to finish. Looking at the goals, looking at the visions you have for your life, how have you been showing up? Have you been committed to it? Have you been showing up consistently? The inspiration from this podcast came from last night. I was literally about to go to sleep, and then I picked up my phone, which I shouldn't be doing anyways, especially at I think it was 10:30 at night. But I was looking for a text from somebody. I ended up going onto Instagram, and how the Lord has it, I always get some kind of guidance. It's bizarre and blows my mind. So I pick up Instagram, and I got a message from someone I'd met on a plane maybe 2 months ago. And they sent me this reel with Denzel Washington saying some quotes. And the quotes were this, and I'm going to paraphrase. I might not say them correctly. The first one was, a dream without goals or something like that, I think, is just a dream. And then the second one was, without commitment, you won't start. And then without consistency, you won't finish. And I thought it was bizarre that out of nowhere that I got this text. I haven't spoken to the guy in a while. And yet now I got this text with this message. I seem to get these kind of things. A few weeks earlier, a friend of mine sent me a text telling I have to contact Cornell. And I was asking, I had prayed earlier that day for just guidance on what to do with my cold rum and espresso beverage. And that was what came in. The first thing she said, I'm like, that's odd. I didn't get anything else, but I get this one little message and it said that. So I followed it, right? I followed the threads. So I got this message last night, and it just got me, for some reason, it was like the lid of my head blew off. I started thinking about how I was committing to all the goals of my life. And I pride myself, I'll preface this with saying, I pride myself in consistency, but if I was honest with myself, I wasn't showing up consistent. I was committed, but I wasn't showing up consistently in every area, meaning in all the goals that I said that I wanted. And whenever you say you want something, whenever it's going to require you to be consistent and also to give something else up, because your time is limited, right? So it's all an opportunity cost. If you do one thing, you can't do something else. I'd like to think that well, I could do it all. And it's not to say that, I maybe I eventually will get some of these goals I have done, but with too many things down, it just waters down your efforts. And now something that could take a year ends up taking 7. So I was looking at this when I heard this quote. It literally was sitting with me, and it was I was like, oh my God, I haven't been showing up consistently, or not just consistently, but focused on one task. I had all these different projects going, and as a result of that, I would just feel scattered and go here, and it would water down my efforts. I would feel stressed out, and I would feel like I wasn't making progress in any one direction. Earlier that day, I was reviewing some coursework for my One Life Blueprint. If you're not familiar with the One Life Blueprint, One Life Blueprint, it gives you clarity. It makes you conscious of unconscious beliefs, gives you clarity of what it is you want in every category, as well as the reasons why, the belief systems necessary, and the strategy to move forward. I was going through this because I'm getting ready to do my second launch in June. And as I was going through this, I noticed that my efforts, I put a couple hours a day, and I would take a break, and I wasn't showing up consistently. So when I saw this quote, it was I was I need to really, really block this time and take this seriously. The one thing I remembered was it was similar to when I was in college. When I was in college, I wanted to major in finance because at the time I wanted to be a stockbroker. When I was in the school, it was I believe end of my freshman year, the beginning of my sophomore year, I was on academic probation. I had a girlfriend at the time, and we would hang out 24/7. And as a result of hanging out all the time, that left very little time for schoolwork. So my grades suffered. But then there was something that clicked in me when I realized that I needed to, I couldn't mess up anymore. I needed to put 100% focus. And as a result of knowing exactly what that I wanted, committing to it, and showing up consistently, I was able to graduate with a GPA of 3.8 in the School of Business. 3.83 in the School of Business. That meant, my friends would be going out, and I'm like, no, I got to study. And I forfeited a bunch of things that I could have done. But as a result, I chose to put that focus onto my schoolwork. Years later, not even that far later, after I graduated, did a year in finance, only realized that I did not like it at all. But the lesson still sticks, and the lesson is powerful, is exactly what I'm talking about. By being committed and showing up consistently, it meant that I couldn't do certain things. I had to push other things away so I could focus on what was important. What was important at that moment was me showing up because I wanted to graduate with this degree so this way I could start my career. Where are you not showing up, not committing in your life? Where are you not being consistent in your life? Now, I don't say this because I want to trigger you, because it's good to have the awareness. Because just by me asking this, like you saying, well, where am I not committing? What I'm doing is connecting you with that vision that you have, that you want, that you say you want. And hopefully that will ignite you and you'll be like, yeah, you know what? I haven't been, this is what I really, really want. I haven't been showing up because I haven't been thinking about the outcome that I want. And as a result, when everything's blurry, you don't show up. So you have to remember what it is that you're going for in order to have the emotions and how you're going to feel afterward. And then the consistency. I'll give you one more example. I was talking with a friend and she asked me a question. She said, hey, I'm seeing this trainer at the gym and I don't feel like I'm getting the results. He's putting me on kettlebells, but I don't want to do I told him I don't want to do kettlebells, and I want to feel toned, and I want to feel muscular. I'm like, all right, well, hold on first. Let's go start first. What is your outcome? I'm like, do you want to be big, muscular? She's like, no, just toned. I was like, all right. Well, I mean, you can get toned by what he's doing. You can get toned by, but also now, what's your diet like? She's like, my diet's not that good. I was like, all right, well, that's the first place to start, because what you do outside the gym is the 80%. And then I said, and she went on to tell me, she goes, well, I like to drink, right? If I'm gonna have, I'm not gonna have a little bit of wine. If I'm gonna have wine, I'm gonna commit to it. I was like, well, there is the problem there. I didn't tell her this, but it's the commitment. So in order to get alcohol is the worst. And I like to indulge in alcohol. I like to have a glass of wine. I will literally, if I have a bottle in my house, I'll have literally 2 to 3 ounces during dinner. But alcohol is so absolutely worse. It wrecks your results. You're trying to get results in your body, stay away from alcohol. But what she wanted was not consistent with what she was willing to give up. So there's a price to pay for everything in your life. And you have to be willing to pay that price if you want to get the result. So as a result of not willing to commit to the meal plan, as a result of not willing to commit to giving up alcohol, what makes you think that? I mean, not to say there are some people who have nice bodies who do indulge in that, but it's usually they indulge. Now all of a sudden, the next day, they're working their ass off just to try to balance it out because of the overindulgence they did. That's not. I don't think I wouldn't do that for my body. I choose just to stay away from it. So the point I am trying to make here is that, one, in order to get a result, you have to commit. You have to first start by taking action. Secondly, realize that there's always a cost. Whatever you want is going to come at the cost of something else. You want A, you're going to have to give up B. And then third, you have to build it into your routine. You have to take consistent action, meaning you don't go to the gym once and be like, oh my God, where the hell are my abs? Like, I don't get this. I did 3 sets of abs. What the hell's going on here? I'm never working out again. This shit doesn't work. No, you wouldn't say that in a million years. You know that when you go to the gym, you have to show up every single day. You have to do something. And it doesn't just end with the gym. It's also what you do outside of the gym. Every result in your life is exactly the same. So bringing it back to me, like, this is not about, this has nothing, you can't, I'm sure I'm just talking about me, right? You can't relate to this, right? I was looking at the progress that I want to make for my course and realized that I need to show up more consistently. I need to show up better. I have not the goal. I will be launching it in June of this year. So 2.0 of the One Life Blueprint, I'll be launching in June. And that's going to require a lot of work on my part, a lot of dedication, but it will get done because I am committed and because I show up now consistently to getting that result. So again, the keys to achievement, commitment and consistency. I hope you guys, I hope you enjoyed this content, this podcast episode. I hope that just hearing this ignites the fire within you to remember what it is that you want, but also shine a light on how you've been showing up. And it's not to make you feel bad about yourself, to also just to make you realize the potential that you are not tapping into because you have it in you. Realize that anything you want is within reach as long as you're willing to commit, as long as you're willing to show up consistently to get it. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with 5 people. If you'd like to ask a question, you could hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to ask a question or comment, send it to me via my website at www.donnyrouse.com. Again, that's DONNYRAUS.com. There you can also sign up to the mailing list and you will get an email for the next release for the One Life Blueprint that'll be happening in June. So it's not out there yet, but it will be happening in June. So you could sign up there and you'll get notifications. That is it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this enriches your life. I hope it gets you to, again, look at your visions for your life, to show up differently and just realize that anything you want is within your reach and you are special. You can do this. I'm rooting for you. Remember, guys, you only get one life. Live fully, live passionately, and most of all, live now. God bless you guys, and I will see you again soon.